listening to the world-famous White Roof Radio, Woofcast number 687, recorded December 12th, 2022. Listener-supported, it's the thing. Ready? All right, and away we go. Hey, everybody, it's Stevie in Arizona. Brand new episode of the world-famous White Roof Radio. Hi. It's been a minute.
Crickets. We haven't done this in a while.
Been a minute. A lot of things have happened. You guys have been keeping up at MotoringFile. I know you guys do. But we're going to talk about a couple things tonight, so it'll be fun. John, you heard our good pal Todd Pearson from Detroit. From motoringbadges.com. Todd, say hi.
Yes. Hello.
Like I said, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Good reverence here as well. Chad Miller from Detroit Tune, DetroitTune.com. Chad.
Todd's always welcome at Detroit Tune. Anytime he wants to come wrap a car, you just tell me when. We'll make it work.
I'm there.
See, nice. And we also get Mr. Bridger, which is he just finished. It wasn't pickleball; it was the other thing. But now I said pickleball, so everybody's going to think pickleball, which is better.
It's a very popular game.
It's a different. It's more active, more drinking.
Okay, is it like broomball then? As far as drinking goes,
huh?
Broomball? Have you ever played broomball?
That's something you do when you're sweeping.
When you're really drunk.
Like street hockey?
It's like, but on the ice, and you put sponges on the bottom of your shoes and use a stick instead of I did it once. I sprained my thumb and I got really drunk and I'll never do it again.
Was this in jail?
No. It sounds like a jail game, doesn't it?
It does.
It was San Diego. Maybe it's a San Diego thing. I don't know.
Well, if anybody wants to really do a Detroit thing, go feather bowling. You will not find it anywhere else. It's only in Detroit.
Feather bowling.
I'm sorry. You feather what?
Feather bowling.
Feather bowling.
It's.
Am I going to be afraid to look this up?
No, it's totally fine. It's with a feather. It's now blocks of wood instead of bricks of cheese that it used to be.
Wait. Oh my God.
Feather bowling is an analogy.
I'm lactose intolerant, Chad. I couldn't do bricks of cheese.
You're not actually eating. You're ingesting it. You're touching it.
Oh, okay.
So you're fine.
Proximity might be an issue, though.
It's a.
Let's take the antidote first, brother. You'll be fine.
It's a curved course, and you roll the block of wood down the course in a zigzag pattern, and you try to get closest to the feather.
This sounds
it's like curling.
Sounds like
bocce.
bocce.
Like street curling.
Similar to street curling. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how it would be. Yeah.
Wow,
okay.
That also sounds like it was born inside the prison walls of
I'm seeing
Detroit. Yeah, there's only like 4 or 5 places.
I'm seeing indoor old people playing this thing, like shuffleboard.
No, this is full on drunk Detroit kids.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay,
got it.
Okay.
I looked it up. If anybody's curious, I'll put a link in the show notes because feather bowling, as it turns out, is actually really a thing.
Yeah.
It resembles the Scottish sport of curling, according to the Wikipedia, who's begging me for money. So stop it.
I like it because it sounds like it takes no athleticism whatsoever. So.
Oh, yeah, none, zero.
None.
Excellent. I love those sports.
That sounds awesome. Okay, that's enough of the sports cast. Let's get back to cars.
Yeah, enough of the sportscast on the night that it's Monday night football's going. It's Monday night football.
The Cardinals are probably getting their ass kicked.
The battle of who could care less. The six.
Hey, Cardinals are playing
6-6 Cardinals.
Talking about football.
No, not that 4-8 Cardinals and against the 6-6 Patriots, right?
Yeah, nobody cares about the Patriots.
That's what I said. It's the battle of who could care less tonight.
I care about the Cardinals.
The Cardinals are 4-8, and they're still in I
just don't understand.
They're still possible of getting a wild card berth.
I know. They're just
right.
so bad right now.
There's some pretty uneven divisions right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're recording this Monday night at 8 p.m. Arizona time, and the Cardinals are currently in the lead, 13-10. Looks like in the third.
The barn burner out there in Arizona.
No, I doubt it. No, probably not.
They just play right down the street. They play right down, not far from you.
Literally, it's right down the street. And so is the Grand Canyon. It's just right down the street. Because I live in Arizona, so I mean, State Farm Stadium,
everything's
Grand
right down.
Canyon,
It's right down the street, but it take you 3 hours.
And the Suns play on the other side of all of that.
It's 10 blocks.
It's all right there.
Yep, it's 10 blocks away, and it'll take you 3 hours to get there.
3 hours to get there, exactly.
Well, I would like to point out that the Lions have done the most amazing season ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Chad,
ever.
I almost spit out my whatever I was drinking when I saw that the Lions beat the Vikings yesterday.
The Lions
Congratulations.
More games than ever. We are 6-7 right now instead of 20-0 or
0-20.
Yeah. Literally they don't win and they are trying to get into the playoffs. So this doesn't happen. So the world is about to end. Good luck.
That's amazing.
Well, hey, I live in the only city of any of us with the winning NFL team right now. So
you do. That's true. That's true. Well, we're going down to the minor leagues of baseball. That's how bad the Bears are.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
It's really
so
bad.
I'm in luck in that I actually have 3 teams to keep track. So I've got the Cardinals, which really that's just been a total shit show this season. But I'm also following the Niners and the Chiefs, and it's been some good football there too. So
yeah, the Chiefs are on shaky legs this year, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Is this turned into the NFL cast? I mean, I'm here.
I'm in. Yeah.
Just for a minute, because that's as much as I can talk about NFL without having to rely on
Guys,
Google.
This is a special moment because we've not been together in a while. Our wonderful and adoring fans are clamoring to hear what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, what's next is the weather. I mean,
it's and tire talk up next on the White Roof Radio.
Yeah.
Winter tires are your friend.
And I'm waiting for that big dumping of snow right now.
I am too, Chad, because I bought some brand new winter
Give me
tires.
some Buffalo right now.
Oh, I have to wrap.
I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about snow.
Okay.
So, Western Michigan. I was up in Western Michigan. We had 8-9 inches of snow a few weeks ago, which is awesome. But I was in Montana last week. Straight up 30 inches of snow.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. And I realize what I'm going to need, because eventually I'm gonna be in Montana. I'm getting studded snow tires, and I'm so excited about it.
Hacapolitas?
Why not?
I know, right?
You can buy them. This is crazy.
Yeah.
You can buy the same tires that they sell WRC rally cars.
Yes,
you can buy them,
and you can buy them at not Tires Plus. What's the other one?
Tire Rack.
Discount Tire. Well, Discount Tire sells Hacapolitas.
America's Tire Company, same thing.
I'm so Discount Tires in Phoenix, isn't it?
Yeah, they're based in Phoenix.
So Tire Rack's in South Bend, my hometown. So either way, we're covered.
Either way, you're good.
The point is, studded snow tires. I'm so excited, and
that sounds rad.
Right, I know, and I just all-wheel drive mini, studded snow tires, fairly light. I don't know, I mean, I don't think I'm going to need anything more than that with studded snow tires, but you never know.
Probably, well, you know what you're going to need also is a snowblower for your roof.
Well, no, what you do is you pipe water, and basically you gotta do the self-melting stuff everywhere.
I've been in Utah. I went skiing in Utah once and stayed with some friends who have a ranch up there, and it was literally 36 inches of snow on the roofs of all of the buildings. I mean,
yeah, it's wild.
Just nuts. Nuts.
And just to wrap this up with Arizona/old guy talk, it's currently 48 degrees in Arizona, and my fucking right shoulder's damn near locked up entirely. So y'all can have the snow.
It's 42 here, DB, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, dude, it's actually 40 here.
We're supposed to have freeze tonight, and I'm not looking forward to it.
That's actually great. That's great outdoor weather right there.
Yeah.
In fact, guys, I just drove top down. By the way,
no, that's wrong.
15 minutes ago.
No, I'm fully acclimated to Arizona, and no, it's no.
Hey, speaking of top down, you guys know I used to have the 2013.
We
Roadster.
both had the 2013 Roadster, yeah.
Right, and I sold mine back in February of this year.
And
the guy that I sold it to, really nice guy, but doesn't live, lives about 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
He texts me. I want to say this was May or June. I don't think I've told this story on the show yet. But he texts me and he's like, "Do you have can you help me out on some parts for the Roadster?" And I'm like, "What happened?" He goes, "Well, I got T-boned."
Oh no!
Yeah, he got T-boned and ended up totaling the car. So the car is no longer. It's dead.
Oh,
well, wait, hold on. Is it really totaled though?
Yeah, it was gone, man. It was a lady in Hyundai. I want to say one of the SUVs named after
Hyundai Sinatra.
It's named after one of the cities in New Mexico.
Santa Fe.
The Tuscan?
Or yeah,
No,
yeah.
Santa Fe.
Tuscan Raider?
Santa
The
Fe.
Tucson.
That's Tucson, and it's not that. It's
Tuscan?
Tucson.
Yeah. But anyway, so he got
Both.
T-boned by a lady who was texting, not paying attention, and just
of course.
obliterated it, and they just couldn't get parts.
Too bad.
Here's the other problem is you just can't get parts for that car.
No.
There are no rear fenders. They don't exist. They're unique to that
of course,
car.
yeah.
They're just like, all right, you're on your own.
Is it straight? Because that would be one hell of a.
It'd be a great Lemons car.
I would raise it and make it a dune buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But
Yeah.
it's gone now. I don't know. It's in a junkyard somewhere. So
in a junkyard
maybe
somewhere.
one of those pick and pulls here around here. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, my old Roadster no longer is living. So
That's too bad.
I was kind of sad. I was kind of sad to hear it too when the guy called me, and I felt crushed in a way. It's like the guy had it 5 months. Lady T-bones him, and he breaks a vertebrae in the process too. He's okay now.
Really?
He's okay now, but yeah.
Oh, that's really too bad.
Yeah.
So that car, how did it hold up? I mean, was it? I mean, obviously it saved his life.
Yeah, no, it was good, but I think his problem was it was so unexpected. Like he was driving through an intersection and not even thinking about it, so you don't brace, and you get hit broadside. Somebody doing 35, 40 miles an hour. It's pretty jarring. No matter what. He didn't like it cracked, and he's an old guy. I think he's retired in his 70s. So his bones are probably a little brittle to begin with. I don't know. I mean, I hope he's not.
That car's going to need more body work. It's also going to need seats.
Oh yeah.
It'll need a new A pillar.
Yeah.
Probably the entire back speaker panel. Probably
none of these
cracked.
things really matter if you do what I'm suggesting.
If you're going to use it,
just
for
remove
a
the
dune buggy.
doors. Remove the doors.
Yeah, remove everything. You need one seat, DB.
Right.
That's it. Yeah, that's all you need.
You don't even really need that. You just need a pickle bucket turned upside down.
There you go.
Especially if it's in limp mode.
It was a manual. It was a manual transmission, so it'd be a little hard to shift that way. But you could probably do it.
Yeah, but if you put it in limp mode, dude, you can handle it. I'm just saying, unplug the turbo or something. Can't you just do that, Chad? Just take the turbo belt off.
Right? Yeah. Just cut that right off. You don't need that.
Oh my god.
Just stuff some cotton in there.
And you take your turbo pulley and you wrap it around the tire nut.
Yes, isn't that how that works?
I will tell you that there's a lot of people that don't realize that turbos are just this lifetime thing. It's like, no, at some point this will have to go,
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and if you have a Cooper S that the turbo goes out, you can technically still drive the car. You just got no boost.
Yeah, no.
You can't do it you can't drive it for a long time, but you could.
No.
Yeah. That happened in the gray car to me
Short
right before I sold
period.
it, oddly enough. Yeah. Which we could talk about really quick before we talk
DB, let's talk about you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let's hear the big story. DB
for the first time since 2002.
20 years, man.
20 years, yeah, because my first Mini I got 12/31/2002, so right before Todd, right after Gabe, and this is the first time I got tired of. Every time I drove this car since pandemic, I never got to drive it. This car specifically, since I got it, I put it on my blog post on DB Mini, but I'd only driven it like 6,000 miles in the last 18 months. Mm-hmm. Right, and I'm just all of my trips that I do in that car. Besides,
how many miles?
6,000
miles in
18 months.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, that's about what I drive.
Yeah, sure. I mean, which normally not really a problem. It's like, okay, that's fine. Except here's the other thing, and this something really grated on me a little bit more, is I'm paying about $8,000 a year for the privilege to have a car.
That is
that I really don't need.
I do.
Wait. Doing the math. Huh.
Yeah. By the time my car payment, insurance,
taxes, and all that.
Taxes and all the tags, service, gas, and the cars cost me like actually it's closer to 8 to 10 in some years, where it would cost me to have a car, and that's just a lot of money to have a car to go to the gym.
I know. Just don't.
What you should do is you should buy an $8,000 bike.
Oh, funny. That's hilarious. So we'll talk about that.
My job is to enable you, DB.
Yes, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about that shortly. So anyway, I mean, I'm not like butthurt about it. This car I actually liked. I wish that the only time I got to drive it was other than driving it from home to a shop, right? Because I bought one that needed all of the mounts, motor mount, trans mount, chassis bushings. It needed all of that stuff, and I didn't do it all at once because parts were an issue and blah, blah, blah. And nobody could figure out what the actual sounds were coming from. So I would go to drive it and it would clunk, and I would bring it to get it fixed, bring it home, and it would sit, until I took it back to a shop to have it fixed and bring it home. Then it was it. And I drive it once to work.
I get it. You know what? It sounds like you just need a reset more than anything. Maybe the reset's permanent. Maybe it's not. But
yeah, and another reason for this car was the tail end of my credit repair journey. So this car contained
a high interest rate, and all of the rollover.
No, it was a good interest rate, but it contained the loans from 3 other cars.
Yeah,
so you're washing away negative energy.
You are. Correct. That's a good thing, DB. I think
I love it.
I understand the mental place you were in to do that, and I get it. It's time to wash.
I think it's great.
Totally.
Yeah. And I can't believe I'm saying this, DB. You've explained it so well, and it's such a valiant rationale. I applaud that.
That's a number one reason. Number two is my Twitter, before Twitter turned into a dumpster trash fire. My Twitter was angry bike Twitter and elitist urbanist Twitter. And so I'm just kind of leaning into that a little bit more, just like going, well, if I get a bicycle instead, then I'll make me better than everybody else. Right?
I'm on board.
Which I did. I actually replaced my Mini with an electric bicycle as a grand experiment more than anything else. We'll see if it works. I would really, really, really like to make it to February.
Did you, who makes electric bikes? And I need to write an article about this. I can't believe I haven't.
I'm sorry, Gabe. What was your question?
You know who makes electric bikes?
Well, I know I was over X3 from the BMW dealer here in town, and they had an electric bicycle in their showroom. But it was very, 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 very expensive. It was a $9,000 bicycle. I forgot who built it.
No. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, who else builds electric bikes, Gabe?
Don't say Porsche.
The Cooper Bike Company.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't get them in the U.S.
I'm aware.
You can't get them in the States. You can?
No, you can't.
Sure you can.
Well, you can import it, I guess.
Anything. You can get anything if you want.
Yeah.
He knows a guy.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
15% off for Christmas.
I was aware of Cooper bikes, but also not quite in my budget. So I ended up getting literally it's like a BMX bike. I'll post a link to it in the show notes. It's called the Juice Bikes Rip Racer. It's got 20-inch fat tires, 750 watt motor. It'll do. It should do 30 miles an hour after I do a couple of things to it if I want to do it. But I can pedal it at 25 miles an hour without breaking a sweat. Right.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at the name, the Juice Bike Rip Racer. It just sounds like something Sounds like something you get after you go to Taco Bell, man.
It's a comic book.
Had a Rip Racer, man.
Well, what it sounded like was Gabe was about to deliver that bike to you, DB. So you should go with that.
I would love to get Gabe, if you could come. It's not my budget. It's not my budget. So yeah, that's what I did. I got rid of my Mini, and because of that, and also. Not to be an ungrateful bastard, but I'm going to close down DB Mini. I'm not going to post there anymore. It's going to end. It's going to die. It's done. That's fine. You guys don't read it anymore anyway. I put up a post about getting rid of my car. And how long ago was that? That was a month ago. No comments and barely any views because I didn't share it outside of my blog. And I'm breaking up with Twitter. And you guys already know I don't do Facebook. And you guys do, and that's fine. But I don't.
I don't.
I know you guys don't, but I'm talking right now.
Oh, you mean the fans? Yeah.
The listeners, because I know listeners, so a lot of you guys still use the Facebook, and that's fine. I just choose not to because the algorithm makes me angry. So DB Mini is also going to die. White Roof Radio stick around. We haven't really decided what else to do with it, and sometimes Gabe needs to talk about stuff. And Siri agrees.
Love it. So I think we toast to it. I think this is a great move. I'm predicting, DB, this isn't the last of your Mini experiences.
Oh no, probably not. There'll be an R53. There'll be an R53 in my garage.
But it could be well. But I think I'm predicting that there'll be something else. But regardless, I think it's a good move. And
should be nice.
And now I think we've got you turn from DB who owns a Mini in the podcast to elitist urban electric bike rider.
Yes, that's me now. Yes,
who shares a mindset with Mini drivers, but is coming at it from that angle. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still doing the Mini thing, and I'm still acting like I should for somebody who was part of the brand for 20 years, and nobody really cares about that I was part of the brand for 20 years. Anyway, and then I'm just focusing on bicycles for a little bit instead.
I get the.
Well, I think people do care, but I think that's great. I think it's a cool move.
Yeah, thanks. Go ahead, Todd.
No, I was gonna say I get the finance end of it too, because I think a lot of people have come to that realization over the last 2 years, because so many people, there's still like 30% of people are working from home, and they're like, why do I have this car sitting in the garage that I'm paying $500 a month for the car and $200 a month for insurance and another?
You guys are making me feel like an idiot, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
because Gabe has 5 cars.
Gabe, you're a legit car guy.
That's okay.
I was a pretend car guy, and I've always been a pretend car guy.
Car guys. Yeah. We're all car guys.
Yeah, it's.
I think I bought 6 cars this month. And
wait,
randomly,
Chad, was any of those on accident?
Well, no.
Tell the truth.
All on accident.
You totally went Brian Scotto.
Damn it! I hit buy now.
Come into the shop. They need some crazy whatever. I had a R60 Paceman Cooper automatic. I literally bought it and sold it to the guy that flips cars. I bought another Cooper and I bought that one and I sold it to a guy that makes race cars. And and then I just keep buying these cars for like low, and I give them to these people. I was like, hey, just do something cool with this. Nice. I've bought a lot of cars this month, and my employees are like, you've really bought a lot of cars this month. Are you okay? I was like, hey, we're having fun. Let's make this stuff happen.
You keep flipping them, though.
Well, at some point, Chad, I'm going to need to talk to you about one of those that can be fixed for a 16-year-old child.
That's going to be that'll be a topic for another show.
That's going to be a real topic.
That's going to be a real topic for us, because we'll have to dig into the MotoringFile vaults for that one.
Realistically, like if you're looking for a 16-year-old child, a N16 Cooper, perfect.
Oh,
that sounds great, man. It's got to be a manual, but I'm on board.
Well, manual or automatic, but like that is a problem-free car overall. Like it is. You're going to burn a little oil. You're going to have, but it will be a fun, drivable car.
Slow.
It's slower.
It's really not. It's really not.
I'll tell you.
It's deliberate.
I can still be faster on the Dragon in a CVT Cooper than most people can be in an S.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. But my point is, I mean, there's nobody's going to win any drag races, which is great.
Yeah, right.
Great.
Yeah.
The testosterone levels will not be heightened by the acceleration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the important things.
And you can't load like 16 people into it.
Well, and that's key.
Or
that's
girls.
actually key.
Too many girls. You can't put too many girls in the back seat either.
I had my first car.
Also nice.
Yeah, my first car in high school was a 1972 Cadillac Sedan DeVille, and I believe
my God,
my record is 16 people in that car.
That's insane. That's insane.
My first car was I didn't own it, but it was my first drivable car. A 1976 Caprice Classic 4-door.
Wow.
And I had 12 people in that car comfortably.
Well, here's my problem with my 72 Cadillac is it had a 472 cubic inch V8. Okay.
Yes.
That put out a whopping 189 horsepower.
Yeah. Welcome to the
70s.
80s.
Yeah,
90s.
the 70s.
Yeah. 70s.
Yep.
So anyway, so the Mini's gone.
Yeah.
The Mini's gone really quick, Chad. Let me close the door on this one. Mini's gone. It's been replaced by a 2019 BMW X3, which that might very well be the last post at dbmini.com. dbmini.us will be what I think about that particular vehicle. We'll save that for
I want
time too.
We'll place the bets, the rest of us here, the over-under on how long the X3 lasts under the...
Dude, you guys, I don't know how you don't
love
the X3. I think it's a great... wait, what year?
It's 2019.
Yeah, that's
this car doesn't make any,
that's the worst one they made, but still, that's
this is a car that doesn't make any sense. This car is an X3. The X3 is a 3 Series in the wrong form factor.
Well, of course,
the 3
Americans
the
are
3 Series
wise.
shouldn't be in the shape of an X3. That's dumb.
Should be a 3 Series wagon, of course. But I mean, we lost that battle.
But DB, what you did was you bought the Camry / what was the other popular car? Like a Honda Accord, because the X3 is like the best-selling BMW like of all time, practically.
Currently.
Currently.
Yeah. But we switched from a Chevy Equinox, and to be honest, I like the Equinox better.
Oh, now you're actually talking. Now you're crazy.
Yeah,
you're
that's
legitimately
crazy. That's crazy.
As somebody who's rented Equinoxes, you're insane.
No.
And by the way, designing the interior of the new one too. So
it had better tech, and new profiles, better handle profiles, better. The doors unlocked like you expected. You didn't have to program it.
No. See, now you're brainwashed by the American.
Yeah,
trust me. I know the people who designed that car. They're not smart.
The 20. Wow. That makes it. That says a lot for me.
I probably know one or two.
It was easier to use, I think, is probably what it is. And it drove like that car should. That car behaved like that car, like a car of that form factor should. What you would expect. You go, oh yes, this is exactly how this car should behave. This should be a little wishy-washy in the corners. It should have some good acceleration, and I should be able to haul a bunch of stuff. And the X3 fits all of those until you get on the gas. And it's like, why does this car accelerate like this? This is ridiculous. Why does it turn in a space that's half of its own length? This is weird. It's confusing.
But it's really high off the ground, DB. It's really high.
We should talk about. Hey, listen, I'm for it. I am going to be acquiring another car next year. Of
course you are.
It's going to be a reacquire of my 2000 3 Series manual wagon.
Really?
I was hoping more for an Indy Blue Cooper, but yeah.
Right. Let's talk about that later too, right?
Yeah, that'll be down the road, maybe, right?
Yeah, the 3 Series wagon it's going to need springs, Gabe. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, I mean, it's on its 4th set, I think. Of springs.
And but, whatever. Prime mounts.
Car's going strong.
Yeah, nice. We should. Who else has a lot of? Let's talk about other stuff. But who else has gone hard into the 3 Series realm? Is our friend Nathaniel. Are you guys following his Instagram?
Yes. I've seen.
He's got old 3 Series. He's got newer 3 Series. I'm waiting for him to get a brand new one.
He's got
they're all white and automatic, and I have pointed that out to him.
That's just sadness.
Yes, which is
his credit. They're classic.
Yes.
And I think I told him, I implored him to buy another car, so the E30 was not driven in the snow, and he has.
So he bought the E46, right?
I give him that. It's an all-wheel drive. You run in the ground. Totally great. But as somebody who's bought a used 3 Series from Minnesota in the past, I know what that place does to cars.
Wow, brutal.
Yeah, I remember lifting. I bought this thing, and it had 40. It was the only car I ever named, by the way, old silver. And I bought it. It had 48,000 miles, and I bought it with no inspection because I'm like, what could go wrong in 48,000 miles? I mean.
Well, it came from Minnesota, so I'm guessing when you put it up on a rack, it looked like it went through the St. Valentine's Day massacre with the number of rust holes.
What happened was you literally you put it on the rack, you're like, one side has a lower control arm, the other doesn't. It had disappeared.
Oh, wow.
But, I mean, it was a 20-footer in that, the rust wasn't bad, and then it did start to get bad, and then you just painted over it. But it was a beater. I mean, that was the whole point. I bought it cheap. That's 48,000 miles. Everything else was great in that car. Nice. So, in fact, that car was the last year of the E36. People shit on it all the time. What an amazing car.
Hey, Gabe, I think, did you drive that to Detroit one year in the winter?
Yes.
You did? I rode in that car. I
fucking love that car.
I rode in that car.
Love that car. I'm dropping F-bombs. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I rode in that car. Yep. I do remember it.
No, it's a great car. Solid. Got it for I don't know, $4,000. I think it was $3,900 or something.
Oh yeah, I like the E36.
I had it for 3 years. Sold it for more money.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even with the money I put in it, I think I didn't come out ahead. I didn't break even either, but I think it was I want to say it was $250 or $300 all in for those years.
Nice.
But I digress. We should talk about minis.
Yeah, we should let Gabe pay some bills. Sorry.
The ones for
Gabe pays some bills, and we should talk about minis.
And before we do, because I want to follow up on something Chad said to Gabe about a car that was kind of bulletproof, no issues. I had my first. This will be really quick. I had my first service today on the Countryman. It turns a year old this week, and I had its oil service and whatever else. Had a couple of software updates, but I've driven the car for 12 months. Put about 7,000 miles on it and had a whopping 0 issues. It has never been to the dealer for a single thing in 12 months.
So Chad, can I expound on that for a second?
Sure.
I've had over the past 7 years, new Mini every 18 months.
Yeah.
via Mini. I have been to a Mini dealer for a problem. Actually, no, that was in 2013. In none of those cars, not a single one, not a single problem, not a single problem. And granted, those cars, I only drive them to 25,000 miles, but not a single issue in any one of those cars.
And those are all F cars, right?
They're all F cars.
Yeah. And
all Countrymen and Clubmen, actually, over the past 6 years.
And that's what I'm saying. And I still think that dealer service departments are hurting too, because you go up to our service department on any given day, and 90% of the cars in there are R53s, R56s that have some like serious work to be done on these cars. Mm-hmm. Because, R56s, once you've got 100,000 miles on it, it's going to be regular maintenance is something you were.
There's just work to do.
Yeah, there's just work to be done on those cars. But you don't see F cars in there for anything because they're, I'm not going to call them bulletproof, but they're pretty close to R. They just don't have any issues. You get the oil changed in it, and
what was the initial quality for Minis? I mean, I think they ranked third.
Yeah, they were really high.
From JD Power.
Yeah.
That just recently came out. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I did my I got one JD Power for my my current 2022 Countryman JCW, and it was glowing, like everything about it, because like you get it about 2 months, 3 months after you buy it. And you do the JD Power survey, and they give you $1, blah, blah, blah. And my only criticism of the entire car was that, once again, I rail on this all the time on the show, is that Mini did away with the popping and burbling of the exhaust. Yeah. And the exhaust is just too quiet on this JCW. It's boring. It's just, I agree. It's just absolutely boring. And I wish they would do something about it. And I don't really want to drop $2,000 for an exhaust just to make it loud. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I hear you.
So anyway,
I did help a friend put a battery in a Countryman for a couple weeks ago, and that was a very ridiculous process.
It is kind of ridiculous, and you got to program it too.
You do have to put a battery into it, and you have to program it. And we're starting to see some of the type of stuff come in with the F cars. But yes, the F cars are overall very problem free. But when they come in, it's like, wow, you have this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Always a motor mount. Always
motor mounts.
Motor mount, yes. Always broken. We're seeing some front cover stuff. Occasionally a tank ventilation system on the top of the valve cover there.
Yep.
And or you need a turbo. But that's on the 100,000+ mile cars.
Which is... Right. Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, well, the car doesn't feel fast to you. Yeah, you have a turbo issue. We looked at this. We diagnosed this. This is what's going on. We can see this. This is going to happen. You don't have to do it today, but this is what's going to happen. And the F cars are interesting in that respect of it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, repairs up there.
Very.
They're 100% BMWs now.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. That's why.
And you may not have problems for a really long time, and then all of a sudden it hits you, and it's like, I need a turbo? Yes, you do. Well, how much is that? It's $3,000 just for the part. What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. It's $3,000 just for the turbo. Yes. Then you need to install. Well, how much is that? Well, it books out at like 12 hours. What? And you're like, I just spent $5,500 to put a turbo in this car. And
that's why you get a really good extended warranty.
Well, and there is that problem, but overall, I wouldn't buy an extended warranty for an F car because they are problem free.
And I think that the problem is that what's an extended warranty? $3,500.
$2,500 for an F car.
Is it $2,500?
Yeah, that's what I paid for mine.
Yeah, sometimes.
But mine was as good as the dealer warranty.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, but enough to talk about old cars that break a lot. Let's talk more about Gabe, the 2022 Countryman.
Well, I got a whole list. So I think yeah. I mean, and the punchline is they don't break a lot. But they, eventually any car breaks, right?
When they do, they're expensive.
You still have to.
So let's talk about my new car because I don't think we've talked about it, right?
No.
You've got an Untamed, right?
Miatas are great.
I actually like. I'm 6'2" and I don't really fit in the Miata, but I love that car.
I don't fit in Miatas either. Let's talk about minis though. I
have traded in. I've been hashtag blessed for many years here, driving a JCW Countryman. Literally, it was clubbing JCW Countryman, JCW clubbing JCW Countryman, and now I have been. Now I'm in a new Countryman. It is the Countryman Cooper S, which is a very confusing name, as we've talked about, and it is the Untamed edition, possibly the worst named special edition of all time, except there is one other that's even worse. Anyone want to guess?
MC50.
No,
that's great.
That's a good name.
I give up.
The Mayfair.
Those are great. That's great. No, that's all great. Those are great.
I think of special editions here.
The Untold edition.
Untold.
The Untold has got to be probably the worst. But I mean, I love the car. The car's amazing.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the name. We're just talking about, and I love. Listen, the folks at Mini, I think, have done a great job with the design of these things. I actually really dig it. But
they need to get somebody.
Gentlemen,
they got to get somebody else to reprogram their name generator.
I will offer my consulting services for free on this. Like just like text me some ideas, and I'll do thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah,
that's all. I'll just get it. I'll keep it real simple. Thumbs down on both.
And make sure that we don't do anything like as blasphemous as the Kia logo, for crying out loud.
No, that's fine. I mean, compared DB to the Comic Sans Untamed. Lit up Untamed logo. I look at every time I drive my car.
On the dash, right?
I would take a Kia logo like everywhere. I would take it etched into the glass. I don't care. I mean, it's terrible. The wavy lines with the Untamed in orange. I stare at it every day. Yeah, and it's a joke. Everybody gets in. It's like, I'm sorry, what's happening here?
What? Like, is that little bit there on your? Is that little bit there on your steering wheel?
What
is that?
It's embarrassing.
That's not, no. That's was that Mistral?
Untamed? It's like
Mistral.
People are like, am I untamed or is the car untamed? Am I intended to be untamed?
That's Mistral.
Is the car untamed to the point where it's unable to drive? Like, what's happening?
But the green fabric on the seats,
but
however,
listen, now let's talk about the actual car. So let's start with all the good. I think the design of it's great. I think the side stripes are like a little much, but I'd probably take them off.
I follow somebody on Instagram that has this Mini as well, and the side stripes really kind of have grown on me, and it makes this car look really unique.
As somebody who owns the
without
car,
being weird,
they've grown like a fungus on me. They've
really. I think they actually look cool now, and without looking like weird.
Well, I see them every day. Yeah. I don't like them, but everything else, I love the color. The color's great.
Yeah, color's great.
Interior outside of the Comic Sans Untamed is the leather is fantastic.
It's Mistral.
No, it's actually the handwriting of the Mini CEO.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's all in like just the little touches, like the color coded logos, like it really is nice. I mean, I think they did a great job with it.
The wheels look good too.
Wheels are okay. They're probably not my favorite, but they're okay. They're all season tires. First time I've had all season tires on a car in probably 6 years now. They suck, by the way. If you're curious, they're not great dry. They're fine. And in the wet, they're terrible. In the snow, they're awful. So I'm considering throwing snows on. But otherwise, like the car is really solid. Now, from a performance standpoint, I mean, it's a Cooper S. It's an S, and compared to what I've been driving, it's a dog. Like,
you lost 100 horsepower.
It's not fast, and so I have to really work the 8-speed to get it anywhere. So that's a little bit of a drag. You get used to it, but the reality is, like, I'm an outlier when it comes to an owner of these cars. For 95% of people out there, this is a great car. It's fast enough. It handles fine. Quality is great. The amenities are solid. The interface, the digital experience is really, really good. CarPlay everywhere, of course. It's good. I mean, it's a Countryman, and I guarantee you, I'm not even gonna knock on wood. I'm not gonna have a single problem with this car.
Nope.
Entire probably 20,000 miles I have it.
They'll be fine.
So it's really solid. I'm enjoying it, and I gotta say, the Countryman again. Like, I've got kids. Like, it's a really got kids. I got a dog. Like, it's a really nice shape for what I need.
But I'm with you, Gabe. I'm going to say for the extra $5,000, or not even extra $5,000, it's like an extra $3,500, an extra $4,000 over what you did. I'd go for the JCW.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, I would do, if I could, I'd get roll up windows just to get that power.
Yeah, just to get the juice that's in the JCW, because it's funny. I bounce back and forth between our two cars, our regular JCW hardtop, which is 228 horsepower. I haven't done a thing to the car. It's bone stock. Tires are the only thing I've done to it. And it is, I would venture to say it is about 5 times more fun to drive than the Countryman, which is way faster. That's way faster. So I've kind of come full circle on the whole Mini philosophy from the beginning, is the car doesn't have to be fast to be fun.
Yeah.
And, it took... $50,000 of my own dollars to make that determination.
But I'll tell you though, it's funny, Todd. I mean, I have a, I don't talk about this one very much. I probably should. I need to write so much, but I have a Mini Oxford in the house.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's an automatic. It's a DCT.
Right.
This car is such a great car.
It feels peppy. It just feels peppy, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't call it fast.
That. I wouldn't say it's peppy. Maybe peppy's is certainly not fast, but it's not like the quickest at anything. But it feels alert. It's just lively. There's a certain vibe to it that I really dig. Nothing about it is fast, but it's just enjoyable. Yeah. So no, I dig it. There's no, like, you have to shift with the shifter. There's no paddles. But my God, for a $20,000 car, are you kidding me? Like, that thing is great.
Yeah.
So, no, I dig it. That's the little runabout. It's still got summer tires on it. That's a bit of a problem.
Woo,
but
that's fun.
So that's the new Mini Countryman. Really enjoying it. The Untamed Edition. Worst name ever, but really good car. I'm gonna move on quickly. DB, yes. Can I just roll here?
Yep. Just go.
So a bunch of stuff is coming on MotoringFile since we last talked. I'm going to gloss over a ton, but I'm going to talk about one thing that I think is probably pretty interesting. So I cracked the code on the Mini model code names.
Okay.
Okay.
So code cracked. So we've got essentially 3 Mini families coming up, which sounds kind of crazy, right? We've had essentially 1 for a while. Now we have 3. Why is that? Well, we'll get into that in a second. But the 3 are the G56 family, which is going to be the next generation internal combustion engine Mini Cooper, which is going to be called the Mini Cooper now. So all the small Minis are called the Cooper. Okay. The big Mini, the Countryman, will be called the Countryman. And then, of course, the Aceman will be called the Aceman. Makes a lot of sense. Should have done that to begin with. Should never have been a Countryman Cooper. Should never been a Paceman Cooper, yada, 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 Clubman Cooper. So the G56 is the ICE, internal combustion engine, Cooper. That's going to be the Cooper S, the Cooper JCW, and then, of course, the convertible S, JCW.
5-door, the whole bit, yeah.
The U25. Yep, that's right.
That just sounds like a German submarine, Gabe.
It does. I know they should have thought through that a little bit, a little on the nose.
Especially
U25, made in Germany, by the way, Leipzig, Germany, is going to be the Countryman. So the Countryman is going to come out in 2 general sort of flavors. One is an ICE Countryman, which will have the S and the JCW. I'm sorry, the Countryman S and the Countryman JCW, and then it's going to come as an EV, full electric EV. It'll be the Countryman EV, Countryman S EV. And this is unconfirmed. It may not happen, but initially they had talked about a JCW electric Countryman as well. I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
I'm going to put a pin in this because one thing that I don't understand as far as EVs is why you want to continue with the dual with the low end and the higher end, especially when it's typically a power thing. I don't understand why you do that on an EV.
It's going to be range.
Oh my
EV.
God!
It's going to be like
because have you? Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be all about range.
600 horsepower EV.
Yeah,
it actually makes more sense. As an EV.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Trust me. Like it
right,
really.
And let's
really
continue
does.
on. I distract you from the chart.
So next up is the third family, and as of 2024, it's made in China. That won't be always the case. It's the J01 Cooper S, and Cooper JCW, and then J02 Aceman S, Aceman JCW.
And that's going to be the electric versions of all of those vehicles.
Those are all electric. They are on a bespoke skateboard platform. So imagine a skateboard with, essentially like doors and seats. Yeah. That car will be inherently more efficient, like more space efficient. Everything about it will just make more sense as an electric vehicle. Whereas the Countryman EV is going to have the T-shaped battery pack. It'll be good. I mean, it'll be actually great for most people. It'll probably have a range of just under 200 miles or around 200 miles. BMW actually makes the X1 in that version. People have driven it, actually prefer it over the petrol powered X1.
That's not hard to do. The X1 drives like
the new one's sponge. Excellent. No, so fast forward next on MotoringFile, the new X1 review, which is a precursor to the Countryman. Yeah. It is a revelation compared to the previous X1. Basically, they've righted all the wrongs from the previous X1 in a lot of ways. So why don't we like the X1? Well, the X1's not a bad car, but it is the same car as the JCW. I'm sorry, it's the same car as the Countryman with extra weight and extra length. And so what does that do? It sort of stunts everything. It dulls everything. Yeah. Whereas the new X1, everything about it is more refined. It's quicker. There's more feel. When you go from normal to sport, the dampening and the tuning is actually really different. And there's real feel in the steering, which is kind of shocking in a way. Is it perfect? No, but for a small crossover, it's the best I've ever driven. Like full stop.
Better really than driving the current Countryman.
It is. Oh, wow. Like the suspension tuning, the throttle mapping, the engines, the response, everything about it, the technology inside, the fit and finish, the material quality is miles ahead. It's and in the current Countryman is good. This is really good. So check out the review and video of the X1 28i on MotoringFile. It's really solid. Now here's the punchline. I still would take the rear-wheel drive original X1 that was based off a 3 Series from 2011, but that's neither here nor there. That was a very different car.
Okay, before we get too sidetracked on that, I want to go back to which of the J models are coming to the U.S., Gabe. Which ones are destined for the shores of good old USA?
Initially, none of them.
Yeah.
Why is that? So the rumor. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I'm gonna go back on that. Not none of them. Originally, it was gonna be none of them. The strong rumor is that Mini USA is going to make, using air quotes here, make the sort of the economics work and bring over the electric J01 Cooper and Cooper S.
The hard time.
They will not make money out of those cars.
Right.
But here's why. Because Mini USA is looking at this and basically saying we cannot not have, basically you're killing the Oxford-made F56 electric Mini because you have the new one made in China. Well, those plans were made in 2016. Since then, the whole world turned upside down, and now we have tariffs with China. It doesn't make any sense to build something in China and bring it over to the United States. And Mini and BMW work in like 7-year time spans in planning, and so that's a major issue. And so what Mini USA is trying to do is still bring at least that hatch over as almost a halo product. So they can say, no, we're still offering electric cars in the United States. Like that's a key part of what we do because we're going to be turning into a fully electric company. Imagine if you keep on telling everybody we're going to turn into a fully electric company, but oh, by the way, we killed our electric car in the United States, which is our second largest market. and it won't be back for a long time.
Well, and not to mention that they're selling, depending on who you ask, somewhere between 10 and 30% of Minis sold in the U.S. are electric now. Now
they're sold out. They can't make enough.
Right.
I mean, they're flying off lots. In fact, I just heard a story of a guy who happened to find one literally that morning. He walked in a Mini dealer and was like, "Hey, do you have any Mini electrics?" Like, haha, funny. We won't. It's like an 18-month wait list. Gets a call two hours later. Hey, this guy was supposed to pick up his car today.
He backed out.
He just got laid off.
Yeah.
Do
you want it? And he bought it that day. By the time he got in, there were 4 other people who had their names on that car ready to buy it.
We were just standing there waiting.
We're having the same problem in Phoenix. It's the same way with the Mini. I know for sure with the Hyundai Ioniq. I know people that bought the only one in the entire state, and they're not going to be another one for 18 months.
Right. I've got a friend who's waiting for the Cadillac Lyriq. It's an 18-month wait. So I think what they're trying to do is they're saying, listen, we're not going to make money on this. We're going to take a haircut, and the dealers are going to take a haircut. We're making them agree to this because it's a halo product they want in their showrooms, because ultimately they're going to sell nothing but electric cars. It's important for our brand. It's important for their brand. It makes sense. So I believe the Cooper, the Cooper and the Cooper S electric next generation Minis will come to the United States. They will be like very hard to find. They're going to be hard to get. Now, Todd, what's interesting is I am fairly confident, based on some sources I've uncovered and seen some things at the plant I shouldn't have, that they're going to be in the LCI of that car, which is 2027, I believe. They're going to actually bring that car to Oxford, and it's going to be produced in Oxford for export to the United States.
Yeah.
And I think the Aceman might also, but the Aceman I believe will not be offered in the United States initially, which is really a shame. The Aceman is a car that is tiny, but it will have more space. It's basically the size.
The Aceman is the car that we want.
The Aceman is the car. The Aceman is the same size of the original Countryman, but it has the space of the current Countryman inside.
Right.
Yeah, that's the car we want.
And the Countryman, the next generation Countryman, by the way, will grow pretty dramatically in size. And sorry, I keep on saying and. There's so much more here. You need to read on MotoringFile. It's going to become much more aggressive and off-road worthy.
You can't. Unfortunately, what you can't see is me shaking my head in disgust.
I'm not condoning any of this. I'm just reporting. I'm reporting the information I've been given.
Well, and I'm just going to say this: having just come from SEMA in Vegas about a month ago. Speaking of off-road, that show is no longer about cars. It is about off-road vehicles. It is about giant ass trucks with 96-inch diameter tires. Yep. It is about $300,000 vehicles that I don't understand how people can afford these things. And I don't mean that. And this is going to sound this is going to sound terribly insensitive. But the kind of people who drive those cars, I don't understand where they get the money, okay? Unless they've got loans that are $2,100 a month for this.
That's what they're doing. Is they have mortgage payments. They're making mortgage level payments.
So what I'm saying is the whole point here is the trend, it seems, in the auto industry, the consuming end. I mean, we're on kind of the enthusiast end, not just the general. Yes. We don't just drive a car and go, "Yeah, it's kick ass, man." I mean, like the people who are like that are the ones that are migrating to the giant vehicles, the Ford Raptors, these F-150 giant, your big horn, small penis edition, whatever.
Whoa.
Yikes. Where were we going with this? You were talking about SEMA.
Yeah. So my point is that the car's moving towards these SUVs and off-road vehicles, and I get it. It's a smart move for Mini to make to take the Countryman to that level, to make it a little more off-road, a little more, kind of rugged, if you will. And hopefully they'll name it something other than the Untamed. But yeah, that was just to follow up your point, Gabe, is disgusting as it may be to some mini purists that the car is going to get bigger and be kind of a big off-road vehicle. It doesn't really match kind of the heritage of Mini, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think here's the thing. Like, I actually think you could connect it. I mean, they made a Moke. It was off-road. Yep. They did a thing. I mean, Porsche's, going off-road on everything they're doing. They're like, hey, we entered the Dakar in 1983. But
Volkswagen didn't make a thing, did they? Did they remake?
They made an actual thing. But I guess let's kind of rolling on. I mean, because this
keep going.
I mean, I think it's a big topic, and since White Roof Radio is going to continue on in perpetuity, we have a lot of time to talk about it. It's exciting because
White Roof Radio is outlasting Twitter.
I think. Thank you. And here's the punchline, and actually I'll just say it right now. I recently drove. I was in Palm Springs, and I drove a bunch of BMWs and some Minis, and it hit me. I drove the new i7, which we're talking a very different car. It's the new 7 Series, the biggest car you can imagine.
The one that looks like the Rolls
760 form.
Yeah,
I drove it in 760 form, which is a twin turbo V8. It's actually the S58. Or S68. It's an M engine essentially in this car.
Oof.
I mean, it's everything that we as red-blooded Americans would love. Yeah. It's got so much power, so much torque. It's
probably makes a great sound when it's idling.
It's a red-blooded American car in a lot of ways, rear-wheel drive, etc. Oh, it's actually X-Drive, but you know what I mean. It's real-wheel drive bias. Drove that car, and then I drove the i7 60i.
Yeah,
electric version of that same car. There is no doubt in my mind which one I'd choose. The electric was so superior to it in every way.
Really?
In every way. It handled better. It was quicker. It was quieter. It outperformed it in every way.
You're taking the pinnacle. You're telling me that the pinnacle of BMW performance and comfort and style and design and excellence, which is the 7 Series. You're saying that car is inferior to the lesser spec or whatever the electric.
No, it's not the lesser spec. They're identical specs.
Identical spec, but it's
they
electric.
Have the same. They have more or less the same power.
Yeah, okay.
And they did that on purpose. One's electric, one is gasoline. One is
all right.
ice.
So you're basing this entirely on the way it drives, and you'd rather have the electric car.
Well, the way it drives, the way it performs, the way what I hear, what I experience in driving. I mean, it's what you do when you own a car, and I mean, and the funny thing is, all of us. When I was there with another, it was like 40 journalists, like some names you'd recognize, and all of us, and we were sitting around, we were having drinks, smoking cigars afterwards. All of us were talking about this and how we were blown away. We were blown away by the difference, by the space between what we thought was excellence and what we experienced in that i7. And you're starting to see it in some of the reviews that have come out. I mean, it is a game changer for BMW.
Does everybody agree?
But it's not just a game changer. It's not just BMW. Like it really is paying off the concept of electric. These car makers, the reason why they're like, GM, for instance, we're going all in on electric cars. All in. Well, why? Okay, well, so secretly, it's way cheaper to make, and also secretly, they're much better to drive. Like everybody's going to love them more. They're going to cost less to upkeep. It's going to be a dramatic change for a lot of people in terms of ownership. The shitty part, sorry, I keep on doing that. Is the charging network. It's awful in the United States. It's terrible.
So it's still basically non-existent.
Well, it's going to take a decade to fix that. That's why I don't have an electric car.
So here's that gets back to the nice thing. Segues back to the Mini about how none of these electric or few of these electrics are going to be coming from China for the next couple of years until the update. And I think it's a business decision kind of hedging your bets that we are not in the mass market of electric cars yet. It's still like 10%, right? I mean, 10% of cars.
I think you're right.
And they're kind of hedging their bets, waiting for the momentum to go, because until we get an infrastructure network and the technology to where you can charge your car to 80% in 15 minutes, We're just not quite there yet.
And I could drive from Phoenix to Kansas City, for example.
So they're there. Yeah. They're there. So they're there. You can hit 80 in like 20 minutes now, 80% in some of these cars.
Yeah.
The problem is finding the charger that does that,
right?
Making it available and making sure it isn't offline.
Right. So it's infrastructure. Right. It's not so much the technology that's holding it back, but the infrastructure. Yeah. And the more people get, and the thing is that it's these two diverging, paths, if you will, of like the more people who have these cars, the more demand there is for the infrastructure, and that's still not there yet. And eventually, when those two meet, then we're gonna have the explosion of this makes sense now for me, Joe car buyer, Mr. I drive to my law job every day. It would make more sense at that point. So I think you're right. We're still 2, 5, 7 years off from that, maybe even 10. I don't know.
But I'll tell you though. Here's the I hear you. I just got a level 2 charger hooked up in my garage because I had a press car. I had the iX M60. The car gets like a 300-mile range. It's ugly as shit.
Yeah,
I mean it looks awful. But my God, was it so incredible to have an electric car with that much power, but also that much range. 300 miles doesn't sound like it's not like 400. It's not crazy, but like it's just enough that you don't ever really think about it.
Right.
300 is a
level range. 2 charger in your garage charges that overnight easy. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Well,
and so suddenly you never, and this is the thing that's liberating, and it sounds so simple, but when you experience it, it's really an epiphany. You don't stop at gas stations.
Right.
You don't ever think about it. Your charge is obviously a fraction of what you would pay at gas stations, which is great, but it's almost the freedom you have that's so liberating.
Yep.
And it's also just like sort of the effortlessness of that experience, of that drive. It really changes your whole perception. And there's a lot of baggage with electric cars. Some people have some baggage around it. They feel it's like some sort of weird, like, I'm not a man if I drive an electric car. That's
not killing enough dinosaurs.
Crazy. Like, it's almost the opposite. Like, if you drive, these things are insanely fast. I mean, to the point where they actually might need to be slowed down, some of them. Yeah. So they're really, really, really compelling. The infrastructure is not there yet, but if you can figure it out, it's a pretty cool thing to get into.
Well, I gotta say this: I drove by a gas station today, and I'm not kidding you. In Kansas City, I saw a gallon of regular unleaded for $2.79.
Wow, I wish gas was that cheap in Arizona. I paid
that's insane, man.
Yep,
I paid more than $4 for a gallon of mid-grade in the X3 today.
Yeah, I'm paying near $5. But
you have the second most expensive gas prices in the United States.
But anyway, that's the whole point. My point is we've got time. That gas prices, now that they're dropping again, and if they stay low for a little bit, this just is buying car companies time for two things to happen. For them to increase the technology in their electric cars, increase the range, blah, blah, blah. Seems BMW has kind of hit a nice stride in that. And 2, wait for infrastructure to be built around, which is happening every day. It's happening around us at all times here. So kind of hedging those bets. And it's like, let's just all be thankful as gas is not $7 a gallon.
That's true. It could
right.
Yep. Yeah, and then the other thing, and this is, I think, would be another considered problem possibly for electric cars, is I still think they're too expensive.
Yeah,
I know Chevy's supposed to be doing the $30,000 on the Equinox and a little bit lower price on the other ones and whatnot. But still, I'm going to look at this i7, which looks like it was designed by Rolls-Royce guys.
Yeah, it does look like a Rolls. It very much
looks like a Rolls.
So, but DB, you're
it's
totally
weird chin, but it's $120,000. Now, this is a 7 Series, right? Yeah. So, of course, a 7 Series is $120,000.
But DB,
but if you look at anything else, a new Mini Electric is, if you can get one, is going to cost me $60,000 by the time it's done. I get out the door.
30
with taxes and everything.
30, 35. Yep.
Right. So you can 35.
Here's where
that's still a lot of money.
Here's where.
Right?
Less than average.
Is in a great spot. I mean, you could buy, you can't find it, but you can buy a Lyric for $60,000.
Yeah,
which is basically equivalent to an iX. iX from BMW is $90,000.
Yeah, starts it.
So, GM is they're really poised to kill it here, because the Equinox is a really, again, it
looks really cool.
Yeah,
my wife and I are actually kind of excited about that.
Talk about it, but it's a really well done $30,000+ vehicle for what it is. It's really good. So my point is though, like that is going to put on pressure. There's going to put pressure on a lot of different companies. The cost of manufacturing, once you essentially sort of pay off the initial investment of going electric, it's cheaper. And so you're going to start to see these things come down pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay. But
I
mean, the Lyric's a great looking car too.
There's more. Yeah. There's a couple other things I want to mention really briefly. There's a lot of this. I mean, the X1. So basically, X1 hot take, really good, which is important for many fans because the new Countryman is based off that car. The new Countryman will probably be a little smaller, a little lighter. It's probably going to be really good. So we'll know more
keep
about
an eye for that.
Soon.
So I'm going to link up your X1 review that you did. It was a little bit ago, but I found it over at MotoringFile. So I'm going to make sure that's going to be in the show notes for you guys. So you can go read all about it. And of course, you should be following MotoringFile on the Instagram.
Watch the YouTube and
subscribe
on YouTube, by the way. There's some YouTube vids. There's an M3 CSL vid coming, which some of you might enjoy. Now let's move on to the next generation Countryman. This is a quick little hot take again, but it's going to be electric and ICE, and the ICE is going to have 100% DCT dual clutch transmission. So that ASIN automatic is completely gone. It's going to be DCTs across the board now for Mini.
Well, that sounds like that can only be better.
Yep. So that's a good thing.
Because one thing I'm really getting annoyed with is the automatic transmissions in BMW built automobiles.
Oh, the ZF is the best automatic transmission.
I was gonna say, DB, you just gotta learn how to like shift. Do you have paddle shifters in there?
Yeah, it's got paddle shifters.
So you got paddle shifters.
It's the best transmission in the world.
It's the throttle response because I have an automatic transmission. So it's not actually the transmission's fault, but because of the automatic, it's throttle response. Same problem I have.
The throttle mapping is a problem.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same as driving the Roadster with the automatic. It's exactly the same.
So that's a legit issue.
As the R cars, right? And it's so annoying. Anyway.
Oh well. Back to the Countryman.
Taking over because for my X3 hate. Sorry. And back to the Countryman, Gabe. I'm sorry.
No, it's a legit issue. I think the Countryman
transmission seems fine. Just takes forever.
So the transmission will be DCT, which is exciting.
Which will be nice. Yeah.
The Mini Aceman has been spotted for the first time in Germany. Yes. It is undergoing testing in Germany for release in probably 2024.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Looking good. All right.
That'll be fun. I'm excited
last for that car. Thing, and there's tons of MotoringFile. We're just going to do this last thing. And it just was posted, actually, as we were talking. We have an exclusive first look at the next generation G56 Mini Cooper. So by the time you get this, it's been out for a couple of days. Head over to MotoringFile. This is and you have to follow me here for a second. This is the new petrol-powered Mini that's going to be made in Oxford. That's going to be sold alongside the J01 Chinese-made electric Mini. Okay, so what Mini is doing is they're like, okay, so this is crazy, but we're going to sell an electric and a petrol-powered car side by side. So why is that? Well, because we're in this transition period. But instead of developing an entirely new petrol-powered car, we're going to, and this is where it gets crazy, refresh the F56, which was released in, anybody?
2014.
2013, technically, as a 2014.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Whatever. We're going to, in its second decade of production, refresh it and sell it for another 7 years.
Wow.
So that's very
un-BMW like.
It is. It's crazy that they're doing
crazy,
but
what that is.
They're looking at this and saying, listen, pragmatically, the car is actually really good. If we're going to gut this thing and really refresh it, meaning the trunk, like the hatch is going to change shape. The lights are going to change entirely. The engines will evolve. The interior will radically change.
Yeah.
But the structure will stay the same, which is the expensive part of the car. And so they are going to have a completely new look and feel. The car will more or less look like the new J01 electric Mini, The rear hatch will look like some form of Batman type of car, which again, link over at MotoringFile. The interior is going to have a giant circular screen, which I am personally super excited about.
Yeah, I remember we saw that. A floating glass screen, and might even just have a heads-up display only with no like digital cluster at all. So pretty radical change. It will have a mild hybrid drivetrain, most likely, and it will be quicker. It will still come with a manual in certain specs. So this will be the last manual transmission Mini ever sold, and of course the last internal combustion engine ever sold. It will also have a decent amount of new tech. It's going to have a new adaptive cruise, which will actually follow the lines of the car, follow the lines of the road. So it will actually drive itself to a degree, which would be kind of cool. Nice.
And it will have
this one's got that R50 vibe going on with it. I like it. And even in the camo shape, it's kind of like it just looks like it's starting to, even though it's a refresh and it's still going to be an M56, it's still starting to look like they maybe did something else to it, and worked a little design magic. And
anybody in White Roof Radio listener land, I will PayPal you $1 if you can find an exhaust pipe on this car in any of these pictures.
So there is a
this is a gas powered car.
Side note here.
I'm throwing a monkey wrench.
These are photos of an electric, of the G56. We know this. We know that Mini is going to have an internal combustion engine G56. In fact, that's all they are going to be. So we've been told by sources. Mm-hmm. However, we can't find an exhaust, nor can we find. I can't find a muffler either. It's hard to say.
And there aren't any pictures.
There is an outside chance. But I'll just say this to our White Roof Radio listeners: there's an outside chance these photos are of what might be a last-second change for Mini, which is to create an electric version of the G56 to be sold just in the United States.
Interesting.
Stay tuned. MotoringFile.com. Tricky. And there's because Gabe, what's interesting is none of these pictures show the right side of this vehicle. Oh, wait. No,
they
do.
Yeah, they do.
They do. And the gas cap / where the electric charger goes. Man, I'm it's a toss up which it is. Mm-hmm. Whether it's an electric plug or well, how about the brakes?
Well, Todd, to your point though, it doesn't say electric test vehicle.
No, it doesn't. And the brakes don't look like they're. But there's no way to really tell whether they're.
Yeah, there's no way to tell.
There's no way.
Yeah, and this isn't the same picture.
But here's the other thing, though.
This is a picture of two different cars. It's not the same picture of the same car.
Look at the amount of holes in the radiator.
Yeah, there's no
reason
for that.
An electric car wouldn't need that much cooling.
You're right.
Yeah, but they would still do it just to
jack with us.
But not the cooling thing. That's a very sort of functionally driven German thing. I don't think it would do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right.
Well, anyway, so that's what it is. It's
prognosticate in the comments.
It's exciting. Go head over, click on things, check them out.
Yeah. Hey guys. We're pretty much done. MotoringFile.com. But I want you guys to remember a couple things. RSS isn't dead. You guys remember, you guys have been with us for a really long time. We've been doing this. Gabe and I and Todd, we've been doing this since 2002, something ridiculous. And you guys remember we had these RSS readers. It used to be Google Reader back in the day, right? Find yourself an RSS reader. RSS is still alive. It still works. You can still plug in a ton of stuff, and it all goes right into your RSS reader. You don't have to sign up for email newsletters or go onto Twitter or Facebook. You just subscribe yourself to all the things that you want. You do it right in your RSS reader. Personally, you just have to search RSS in your app store. You'll find like 3 or 4, and there's some really good ones. I'll link them up in the show notes. But that's the cool way to get stuff again, which is very weird. But check it out. RSS for reals is like cool thing to do.
Thank you, DB. I'm on board and signed up.
NetNewsWire. NetNewsWire is back. If you're a Mac user.
Yep.
If you're an iOS user.
Reader. I've been using Reader since back in the day.
Oh, nice. NetNewsWire. I've been using it for a while.
Right.
It's an awesome app. It costs a couple bucks. Great.
Yeah. If you don't want to spend any money because you're a cheapskate, Net News available on iOS and OS 10 for free. And there's others for Google. Trust me, it's very cool. If you guys remember, you used to do that. Get back to it. The algorithm is evil. Make your own.
Yeah, it really is.
It really
by
is.
The way.
It's ridiculous.
It really is.
And it affects makers. It affects people like content creators, like Gabe. Like
let me get on my soapbox for a second, DB. Like
yes,
the people, I mean, MotoringFile obviously, but the people who actually are small businesses who are bringing you this information in this category, who are doing it because they love it, not because they make a ton of money on it or they want to. That's not the point. Because they love it, and there's passion there, and they uncover things that you'll never hear from other people. Those are the people you should support by reading actual articles on those websites. Mm-hmm. And if you go to Facebook, you're supporting none of that. In fact, you're supporting a giant conglomerate, which may or may not be destroying the world, but that's not the point. The point is you should really be going out and actually visiting these websites that are really passion-fueled places for really great discussion and ideas.
I couldn't agree more. Do that. What Gabe said, it's better because like I said, the algorithm is evil.
All right, off soapbox.
Wrap it.
Okay, done. Speaking of small businesses, motoringstripes.com. Do the thing. Spend your money there. It's probably too late for Christmas, but when you get money for Christmas, you can go to motoringstripes.com. Order something cool for your money. It needs it. Trust me, you probably need a mini logo if you've got an R car anyway. At the very least, you need some stripes or something. Todd will hook you up. Just go over motoringstripes.com, and then of course DetroitTune.com. Go over there, find something nice that you like, even if it's from Craven Speed, even if it's from whoever that we love. Chad just gets it all from them directly. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. You can help two small businesses at once by going to Detroit Tuned. Ready? Go. Piece of cake. Yep. That's all you have to do. Or, and if you don't want to go to Detroit Tuned because Chad looked at you cross-eyed last time you were in the shop, then at least go to Out Motoring and tell him I sent you. And then next time, go to Detroit Tuned. Fair? Deal? Done. Perfect. Thank you very much. That's it. That's it for White Roof Radio for this year, 2022. We're going to go and put a wrap on it since it is, it's almost Christmas. Oh my God, it's Christmas like in 2 weeks. So we're going to go ahead and be done for 2022. Next show that we do will be sometime in 2023. We're going to have to follow up with Gabe's Countryman. We're going to follow up with me and not having a car. We're going to have to follow up with something else. Chad flipping minis.
Chad's flipping cars. Todd's got like half the mini fleet. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Todd's got that. It's a fancy.
And guys, I didn't even talk about the fact that there's a new mini school that's designated.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
Designed for teaching people how to drive manual.
This is not the last. This is not the last show we're gonna do, fellas.
DB,
this is not the last. It's not the
you
last
and I
show.
need to go to Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't remind me about it last time. So
but this is a reason because this is a mini thing. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. We'll totally go. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I can't get there on my bicycle.
Oh, wait a second. That's a whole another podcast.
It's funny you should mention that.
It's a bicycle. For
those of you who care, watch for Ride Bikes Radio to make a triumphant return with a little bit of a different bent and a different host. We'll be talking with our friend George Sue, who also used to own a Mini back in the day, and we're going to be talking about bicycling, but in a completely different way that you've never heard of before. And that's going to be starting up. I'm hoping to get a trailer for version 2 of Ride Bikes Radio up for the end of the year, and we will start back up sometime in January 2023. It's going to be very, very cool. Very excited for that. Yeah, thank you. But this is it. We're done. MotoringFile.com, WhiteRoofRadio.com. Stay subscribed, do the things, all that. But this is the point of the show where, I make a funny clicking sound and then I say some words. Questions, comments, or concerns, you know what to do. Click back over to whiteroofradio.com. There you can leave a note in the show notes because, comments are open. You can also email us, feedback, whiteroofradio.com. Until next time, gang, this DB, I'm done.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
Love an awkward ending. Yeah.
We're all here.